Excuse me, could I have the bill, please?
Here is the bill.
Thanks. Let's see. My meal was iota beta and the tax was gamma, and I need to pay iota epsilon. Okay. Can you imagine trying to pay for your meal using those old Greek number symbols? Sounds like a headache, right? In this video, we will talk about the unique number system that was used in ancient Greece. In ancient Greece, there were two different types of number systems. The first system we will look at is called the Attic system, which was used by the Athenians in the first millennium BC. This system is also known as the Herodianic system because it was first described by Herodian in the 2nd century, or as the acrophonic number system. Acrophonic refers to a system in which the symbols for the letters come from the first letter of their names. Greek letter names are acrophonic. For example, the name of the letter beta is spelled with this. So the acrophonic number system uses the initial letter of each number's name as its symbol, but with the exception of the vertical bar representing 1. Let us see these symbols. To represent numbers in the acrophonic number system, we use vertical bars to indicate 1, 2, 3, and 4. The symbol for 5 is an old form of the letter pi, which looks like a gamma with a hook. It comes from the first letter of its name. Adding a vertical bar after pi gives us 6, and we continue adding bars for 7, 8, and 9. For 10, we use the letter delta, which comes from the first letter of its name. The powers of 10 are represented by eta for 100, chi for 1,000, and mu for 10,000. We can combine these symbols as many times as needed to represent large numbers. For example, this represents the number 1,234. For 50, 500, 5,000, and 50,000, we will use a different way. We can multiply 10, 100, 1,000, or 10,000 by 5 and insert the letter that corresponds to the number inside pi. In other words, placing a delta inside pi gives 50, eta inside pi gives 500, chi inside pi gives 5,000, and mu inside pi gives 50,000. Recall that in the first math video, when we introduced the number system in Mesopotamia, we used the place value system, but the Attic system does not rely on the concept of place value, so the Attic system does not require the use of a zero for an empty column. However, the Attic system gave us very long numbers, so the system was soon replaced by a more efficient number system, the alphabetical numerals, often known as the learned system. This system still used the letters to represent numerals, but it was much more flexible and it has a better way to represent bigger numbers. The classical Greek alphabet, which consisted of 24 letters, was used in this system along with the obsolete letter digamma and 2 regional letters borrowed from Phoenician, copper and sand, making a total of 27 symbols. Here we can see the list of these 27 symbols. They are divided into 3 classes, consisting of 9 units, 9 multiples of 10, and 9 multiples of 100. The first class includes units from alpha to theta, along with the obsolete letter digamma, which represents 6. The second class consists of symbols from iota to copper, with the final one being the obsolete letter. The third class uses the remaining letters from row to cent to denote the hundreds from 100 to 900. Like the Attic system, the alphabet system also used the principle of adding the values of the symbols to represent numbers. So for example, if we combine iota with alpha, the resulting value will be 11. Similarly, if we combine iota with beta, the value will be 12, and so on. Combining chi, lambda, and epsilon, we get 635. If we want to write numbers next to ordinary letters, we need to draw a line above the symbols to distinguish them from words. To represent the 9 multiples of 1000, we need to add a comma in front of the symbols for the units, like this. With this system, the Greeks could express any whole number from 1 to 9,999, and again, they didn't need a symbol for 0. For numbers larger than 9,999, they used a different way. When the Greeks needed to represent the value of 10,000, which was known as a myriad, and meant 10,000, they used a special symbol consisting of the letter M, the first letter of myriad, with a small numeral written above it. The value of this symbol was the product of the small numeral and 10,000. For example, if we have the small beta written above the symbol M, then the value of the symbol will be 2 times 10,000, which equals 20,000. Using this method, the Greeks were able to express numbers as large as 99,990,000 without difficulty. The small symbols can be written either above or in front of the M. This system was commonly used by Greek mathematicians. For example, Aristarchus of Samos wrote 71,755,875 in this way. It's important to know that, even though we use the small Greek letters in this video, they were not used in ancient times. Small Greek letters were developed much later, about AD 800, during the Byzantine time. Apollonius of Perga, who was both a mathematician and astronomer, used a different way to represent very large numbers. He made the small symbol represent power of them. For instance, if gamma is written above them, it means 10,000 cubed, and this symbol represents the value of 5,863 times 10,000 squared. During the time from ancient Greece to the Middle Ages, the use of Greek alphabetical numerals was very common in the Middle East and the eastern part of the Mediterranean area. Greek numerals are still used in some contexts nowadays. However, they are not commonly used in everyday life or for general numerical notation. That concludes the introduction. Mi-chan, do you know how much you need to pay for your meal now? Yep, I need to pay 15. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something new. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel for more content. I will see you in the next video.